must be on his way up. Well, anyway, I guess I might as well introduce it. I'm Zacherle here. This is John. He comes from a long family of werewolves. I'll get it out there. In fact, people ask me, the stuff we did on TV was wait a minute, what am I using this? Is that better? Is that any better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just didn't think. I don't take time to think anymore anyway. I'm too old to worry about what's going on. Anyway, no, I came from a very straight family. I don't think anybody kidded around too much. We had some good laughs, of course, but the best laugh we ever had, and it's very timely that I'm going to mention this now, is we've just been through a big hurricane season down there, and flooding and all in New Orleans and over wherever it was in Texas. Where was it in Texas? Didn't the flood hit Texas too, as well as New Orleans? Whatever, doesn't matter. Big floods. But there's been a history of flooding in this country for years, really big disasters. And when I was a kid, about 6 or 7 years old, there was a terrific flood in Mississippi, the Mississippi River, and that was way beyond what we just witnessed on TV. And everybody got excited. I think President Hoover was in charge, and he was kind of slow, and things didn't roll like they thought they would, because he'd done a lot in the First World War, feeding the people in Belgium and so on after the war was over, and they were just starving over there. Anyway, he was in charge, but things were very slow, just like this time. The country was not ready for the government to step in. They just weren't used to that. But this was such a disaster that the government finally had to step in. And of course, there were a lot of societies raising money and sending things to New Orleans and all the other cities on the Mississippi River where flooding had taken place. It was a worse disaster than anything you ever saw, right here. They do show some of it on the old black and white newsreel films. And so they're asking everybody to gather clothing. And we sent it all down there to the south where people have lost everything. So I can remember, as I say, when I was 7 years old, and I guess my mother gave instructions that everybody should go upstairs and bring some clothing down that it could send down to as flood relief. And something's happening here. Oh, this is the music man is coming right now. We better hold up this one. And we all did that, and came down to borrow our stuff. And finally, my father came down with his donation. He brought down his pair of swimming trunks for the flood victims. And we all broke up like nothing. I mean, I don't remember what he came to. Well, he says here, and his pair of old swimming trunks for the flood sufferers. And that's about as funny as we got around our house. And when we used to reminisce about it, we always talk about, you remember when Dad brought the swimming trunks downstairs and everybody broke up? And he wasn't even embarrassed, he just thought he was doing a really good thing. But that's about as humorous as our family got, until I came along, I guess. And so it's been a great life, it really has. And this is Mr. Jilks here, always got lyrics here for me. I know about that, always. He makes some good songs up himself, and they're on that CD. And I was humming the other day, and I started humming a song that was called Day After Day, We Will Always Be Sweethearts, the same. And of course, the more I sang it, the more I think, wait a minute. I say, night after night, we will always be sweethearts, the same as the night we began. You bit my neck, and the feeling was wonderful. And we both agreed that in time it's more thrilling. And so we can say, we will always be sweethearts, the same as the night we began. Wolf. Thank you. Anyway, oh, you're tuning up?
It's tuning, yeah.
Okay.
Last minute.
Boy, this is not going to be very easy. It's an immense crowd here today, and they're still out there. Some have just got out of their cars and waiting in line. I don't really know how this convention can handle all these people without you're running into an immense line no matter where you go. Could they have a larger convention hall or something, and there were still these problems. But standing out in the cold is no fun at all. Lucky it wasn't raining today. It has done that in the past. What did you have in mind, my boy?
Do you want to try Interment for two?
Interment for two. Okay, I think I got the words, which I would need a pair of glasses for. These are songs here. This is the first rendition of these songs since the CD was finished. This is it, yes, all right. Give me an old note there.
Little intro.
Yes. Is that working? Is he overpowering me, or am I doing all right there? The way those cloths surround your eyes, your liver spots, they tantalize. I want a tomb, adjoining room, and interment for two. Am I on the right? The way you drew, it makes me sweat. I dim the lights, but I'm too wet. Let's take a stroll, go find a hole for interment for two. Together we will lie in state forever hand in hand. Let's lock the vault and seal our fate, just you and me, and baby makes three. The way your head just flops around, I stand it up, it falls back down. We need a two, adjoining rooms, and interment for two. It's time to go, no looking back. Give me a smile, get in the sack. Don't thrash about, I'll let you out at our interment for two. The worms may bite, we'll be alright in our interment for two. Da, 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 da. I don't know how to go into this. Does anybody have any questions about old movies? Yep.
Are you excited about performing with Bobby Pickett tonight?
Bobby Pickett is here. I think he is here. And somebody said he was looking for me. I don't know whether he's after me or not. Because he had that hit song, that single, you know, 45. And the record company that I had made Dinner with Drek with, they saw that was getting to be a big hit. So they had me come in there and make a version of it. And that's the way record companies work. They get somebody else who already had a hit and was sort of well known at the moment to do some song that was coming up and then cover it and ruin their chances. So I've only met him once, but I've met him again tonight, and we'll do a duet. He finally, you'll be interested to know that he knows the words to Monster Mash, which I never seem to get straight. And of course I'll be doing Dinner with Drek, and it'll be an event. And I forget who else who's going to be there. Oh, Mr. Best from the former Beatle is going to play. Is he going to? Who's going to play? Is anybody else going to do? Who's going to do his songs? Dead Elbow?
And on his own with his own band.
Oh, his own band.
Oh.
Wow, that's pretty good. You can hang around tonight. I hope everybody doesn't hang around. A tent would be impossible. Anyway, now what was I saying before? Anything worthwhile?
I got lost at Pete Best.
Pete Best. Anyway, life has been great for me. I've had a great time kidding around. I found a letter. People used to send in a lot of fan mail to Channel 7, particularly when I got to New York here. And it was so much we couldn't answer it all individually. So we had help from an intern from Columbia University came down to help us. And the station printed some form letters, which said, in effect, we thank you for your loyalty and for wanting to join the fan club, and please continue watching, and Zacherle will be here and there and everywhere, and we can't answer every letter, but we thank you and be your loyal fan. And some guy sent the letter back to us, and he wrote on there in handwriting. He says, what in the hell do you mean sending me this rubbish? I hate that show. I used to love watching Frankenstein, but I hate this guy. Why do you dare send me a letter like this? Anyway, the fact that they had shown the films a year before I got here, and they continued to show them without any help, if you want to put it that way, from me. So you could catch them on the air without, all you had to go is sit through the commercials. That's where I had fun. When the commercials were on, that's when I had my fun. But at any rate, I already forgot what I was talking about. You're going to stand there and act like you weren't paying attention? We could do another song here, maybe.
Okay.
We could do that. That was great, but nobody else there knows it. I had a whole bunch of them. Black. Oh yes, we can do that. This is another one of these love songs. Some lady, a lady viewer sent me this, the lyrics song, and we put music to it. Oh say, say you're mine, dear Valentine. That you're this man, you're not thinking about it. Oh, say you're mine, dear Valentine. Put your boneless hand in mine. I'll make you happy, honest dear. I'll do the Charleston on your beer. I'll get a casket built for two, a cozy nest for me and you. We're a little too high here. If you would share your shroud with me, a dear, dear Valentine I'll be. My dear, I love you. I adore you. I'd do anything horrible for you. I'll fly all your claws. I'll clip your wings. I'll do 1,000 gruesome things. I'll feed you oh my God, I can't even read this. I'll feed you pickled vampire hawks and prussic acid on the rocks. Come live with me in misery. Oh dear, dear Valentine I'll be. We started singing when I first came to New York, and if you had that old video, you've seen that grand opera called Zacherle. Thank God we're not doing that here today. That was fun. That was really fun. Incidentally, the guy that played piano, whenever we had a season, in the first season in New York, we would borrow guys who were in the ABC television band. The network had a band that was on orchestra, about 35 guys. And they were on duty all week long to play for all the musical shows that are on the air, like Pat Boone and all those people. And NBC and ABC and CBS all had an orchestra. So the guy who was the piano player for the orchestra, and I forgot his name again.
Earl Wild.
Who?
Earl Wild.
Errol Wild, thank you. W-I-L-D. And he would come in and he'd play rinky-tink piano with all these crazy songs we're singing about this crazy opera called Il Zacherley. And he had a lot of fun, and we did too. And he played for several, I guess these 2 more operas during that season for us. And all of a sudden I realized, I got a thing in the mail, this guy, he wasn't just playing the piano for ABC and Pat Boone. He was a symphonic character, and he's 90 years old, and he's playing Carnegie Hall in about 3 weeks. And he's been doing this for years, and I didn't know it. And he also recorded all kinds of stuff by Mozart and Beethoven and Chopin and all that stuff. As a piano soloist of great renown. I had no idea he was aimed that way when he was playing for us, because he just looked like he was playing an old rinky-tink piano, like that lady on the Lawrence Welk show, you know, they used to... What was her name?
Florence something?
Peggy Castle.
Joanne Castle.
Joanne Castle.
See, people don't know having watched. He's still showing them on Saturday nights here in Long Island. Anyway, I'm going to try to go down there and catch him as he comes out the door and remind him of his evil past. Shall we try the Monster Blues? What's the chance of that?
Sure.
I don't know if I got all the words there. That's a lie. You
You got them all? I got them if you don't.
Yeah, it's here. It's here. It's here. Is this one? No, that's not it either.
Want this?
Yes. Thank you. 2 pages?
2 pages.
2 pages. God help us. Old Track was in his coffin, sleeping soundly on his back, while mean old Doc Van Helsing planned to launch a sneak attack. The sun was slowly rising when he ripped the lid apart, and he drove that wooden stake straight to the Count's undying heart, because it's true, even monsters get the blues. We hunt them down with torches, dogs, and crucifixes too. You better mind your manners or he might come after you. I ran into the creature at a restaurant yesterday. He said he had a craving for a tender fish fillet. A waiter soon harpooned him and dragged him out of sight, then added gilded chowder to the menu for the night, because it's true, even monsters get the blues. We hunt them down with torches, dogs, and crucifixes too. It's always it's always open season, and they might come after you. Frankenstein confided that his bride had gone astray. She left him for the Wolfman, and she's moving out today. He'd kill himself right now, if not for one important fact. Each time he takes his life, some evil doctor brings him back, because it's true, evil monsters get the blues. We hunt them down with torches, dogs, and crucifixes too. You better mind your manners, for they might come after you, because it's true, evil monsters get the blues. Because it's true, evil monsters get the blues. Thank you. I should really practice the monster mash, but it'll be funnier if I don't later on this evening. See, I got the words, big letters here for tonight. What else is here? Just for fun here. Anybody have any great questions about their evil past or anything? What is this? Oh, leisure suits in hell. Wow.
How about this?
That, okay. Oh, yes. Well, this is birthday. Would you stand up for me, my boy? And on any occasion you feel like it, take the microphone there. This is John. Have you been working steady lately? Any good movies?
Well, I was in a movie.
Closer to your mouth.
I was in a movie Deflowered in May. I worked with the actor Robert Zadar. Very nice guy. I worked 4 days on the movie. And it was a great experience working with him. He has a few problems now with operations, and he's on antidepressants and anticoagulants.
They did everything to him they could? What are you saying?
Yeah, he had from 25 years of stunt work plus football injuries. He has a titanium.
It's all broken up, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I saw a car upside down on the coming into out of the Lincoln Tunnel today. Upside down. That could have been him. I don't know, the cops
It
are
was.
Yeah. Well, anything coming up otherwise?
Well, let's see. The movie, what was the title of that? Well, I played a UFO nut. It just came out. And if you want to buy some, I could sell it to you. It's 15 each. And I played a UFO nut on the street corner. And I go, they're here! The UFOs have landed! Don't you understand them? They're among us! Rosemary Ellen Guiley, the author, has a part in it too.
Yeah.
I hope you got Conrad
have you heard from Conrad Brooks lately?
Yes, I did, a few days ago. See, he was going to come here with a director, Johnny Walker, who was the director of The Flower. But Johnny had a divorce recently, and he had bills.
Liquor, Johnny Walker.
No, he's a director. That's not his real name. That's the name he uses. His real name is Ben. But Johnny Walker is having these problems, and he decided not to come. And Conrad couldn't get a free ride.
Even monsters get the blues.
So Conrad couldn't get his free ride. Plus, he had no guarantee that he'd get a table because the show was overbooked. So he didn't come.
Wow.
It's less fun without him. But he
is,
says he'll come April.
Yeah. It is, yes. Wow. Well, you reminded me of this guy with a camera here showed me a little film the other day. We were having lunch in New York, and what's the actor's name?
Joseph Weisman.
Joseph Weisman, who was in many movies. You remember, I don't know how you would remember him, but he's been a very famous actor. Very aristocratic looking guy, you know. And he's having lunch.
Dr. No.
Huh?
Dr. No. First James.
Dr. No, he was Dr. No, that's right, there you go, that's right, that's the guy. And so Rich was with me, and I said, why don't you go back and say hello to him? So he went back and introduced himself. Then he came back and he told me this story that he had captured something on tape when he was shooting a movie called
Dr. Horror's Erotic House of Idiots.
Dr. Horror's Erotic House of Idiots, yes. And and so Conrad Brooks was in this movie, and he was in this horror movie we were doing, and but he was in a movie with Dr. No, and he had a very small part. He was an extra. He just had to come in and serve them drinks and step out. And so, what's his name again?
Joseph Weisman.
Joseph Whiteman. He said, sit down here, boy, sit down. And talk. So, Conrad Brooks is a very loud kind of a guy, and he grabs you like this, and you take it away from him. He says, well, here, this way he talk. And he said, Mr. Weisman, he said, I really admire you, you're so great and so on. And I said, look at you, and you look very much like Bela Lugosi. You could play Bela Lugosi. And then the old boy said, don't talk to me. Says, don't talk to me. And when I heard the story, I thought he was just trying to put him down because he was a little extra talking to a star, but he didn't like to be compared to Bela Lugosi. And we got it on tape. It's much more hilarious than the way I told it. But Conrad is that way. He likes to get a hold of you and
Yeah, he does, yeah.
He grabs you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost everywhere in your body he grabs you. Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here, and you're still able to do the wolf call and all that.
Yes.
Well, save it, not right now. Thank you. Thank you very much. John, what's your last name?
Link, L-I-N.
John Link. Johnny Link. Very good here. Thank you, Johnny. He's been at every show here from the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
Over in Rutherford?
Yes.
Yes.
When it used to be the Horathon.
That's right. The Horathon. Wow. Well, thank you. Really. Does anyone have any questions of him? No, or any of me? I mean, I can answer. Yes?
Yes, back in 1964,
64, yes.
at WPIX Channel 11,
Yes, Channel 11.
I bought you a statue I made
You
of
brought me a statue?
a papier-mâché figure of you, and you invited me to the taping of your last show at Channel 11.
No kidding. Wow. What was the movie? Do you remember? I don't.
About some policemen, I believe, some cops, detectives, and murder mystery.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of horror movies. They had a lot of crazy, detective stories and things.
I never got a chance to thank you, and
Well,
my
thank
father
you.
wouldn't let me go unless my brother went with me.
Oh boy, Channel 11, down the Daily News building, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Daily News. I don't know where they are now. They're out there on the west side somewhere. They sold that building. Well, thank you. That's quite a memory. My Lord, you're doing all right. Yes.
Did you know Vampira at all? Did you ever meet Vampira?
It sounded like, did I have Vampire? No, I
No.
didn't. Here, yes, I
You
guess.
did.
Yes, yeah, I met her here in California. She had a show.
Right.
One time they were doing, they were getting us shows ready for October. So she had me and Ernie Anderson and Stanley from San Francisco, who used to introduce horror movies. And we did little bits, and she put them together for her Halloween week.
Oh.
And that's the time I met her. Really nice lady. And she's here. I haven't met her this time, but she's down there in the big tent.
She is.
Really nice person.
Vampira.
No,
Hmm?
Elvira.
No, Vampira. I was
Vampire. Well, that was a long answer to nothing, wasn't it? No, never met her. I understand she's still moving around.
Yeah.
But I have no idea if anybody gets her on TV anymore. Somebody told me she walks around with a bleached hair and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. Have you heard anything about her?
No.
There's two of us.
Yes, I have. I know Rudolph Gray, the author of Nightmare of Ecstasy, the book that the Ed Wood movie was made from, and he knows a vampire. Her name is Malin Nurmi.
Yes.
And well, I don't know if he's still in contact with her, but when he was writing the book, he was in contact with her. And author Richard Wojcicki was in California once, and he met Richard going to these, met Rudolph going to these memorabilia stores, and Rudolph said, as a matter of fact, this is Vampira, and he was with her, and Richard snapped a picture of both of them. That was like, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And I think Rudolph is maybe still in contact with Malin Nurmi.
I think he's in contact with a lot of people. Yeah. Well, she is around. That's all I know. But I don't. She started somewhere in the 50s, early 50s, was it, when she was on the air?
Yeah.
But she disappeared when all the movies were let go. Isn't that about what happened? It seems kind of funny that she didn't get the job out there.
She had a problem. She wanted to maintain the rights to her character, but the TV station wanted them, and there was a creative difference, so they made sure that she couldn't work anywhere.
That's too bad. And was she ever on like Johnny Carson or anything like that?
Not that I
Late
know.
night TV? Not shame. It's too bad. Because everybody remembers her and her name, even though we never saw her here in the East Coast. Too bad. Yes, you have a question.
Zach, who came up with the name the Cool Ghoul?
Cool, Dick Clark. Oh boy, we should really sign a letter here to poor old Dick. The stroke that he had is left him with speech problems, and they're working on that with therapy, So he claims he's going to come back for the New Year's Eve and drop the ball and all that. I sent him a little video, and he responded to that all right, but I didn't talk to him. So I just assume that he's now in therapy and working hard to get his speech back. I don't know whether his mobility is okay. I really haven't heard. Tony Danza has a show, and the guy that produces that used to produce a lot of shows for Dick Clark. What's his name? Zeller? Can't remember his name. What's his name? You don't know. Anyway, I should get in touch with him because that show is produced in New York and they're ABC. And he always worked with Dick Clark for years and years until he went out on his own. And I'm sure he's in touch with him. I better get in touch with him quicker, or New Year's will be around the corner before you know it. Well. Anything else that would help me along here? Oh my good Lord Almighty! There's the drummer. You're excited about this evening?
Oh, sure. Hey,
Yeah.
I have something I'd like to show you. Can I show it to you?
That's the great Cecilberg. Step up here, my boy. Most of you who sit around and watch the shows in the evening really don't see the big show. It's him sitting back there playing the drums. His body turns into, I don't describe it, an animal that has never been found. And he just distorts his face, and every bit of energy goes into it. And you're getting ready to play with old Steve the Best?
Yes,
Get closer, get closer.
I want to play with you, and something I always wanted to do, and I finally did. I'd like to show it to you.
Oh.
All right.
Whoa!
You like that?
Does it hurt when I do that?
Not at all.
Why, Godfrey Daniel, where'd you get that done?
Girl named Lizzie Borden.
She used an axe.
Tom, you're too much. We'll see you this evening. There's another one of those back there.
I got one.
My cousin Eddie.
In color.
The old Poe man back there. He's got. You should compare them. Get together. He's got a whole armful of things, including a picture just like that on his arm. Wow.
yours, Fred. Want to see mine? Yeah.
Everybody's getting
A lot of clothes
pierced,
on.
tattooed. Yeah, he's gonna come down, what the heck? This man traveled all the way from Massachusetts, we might as well show his torso. Come on over, Tom.
It's a tattoo shop.
This is an event here. First of its kind.
I think it, exactly. Of course, it's small, so you probably won't be able to see it from there, because it's,
There it is, there it is. Show it out here, put your arms together.
this is Zach right here.
I don't know what to say.
You gotta have it. Anyone that doesn't have the Zach tattoo, you gotta go out and get one.
That's right. Everybody should have one.
Thank you, Freddie. See you later, old Tom.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
We're rocking tonight, Zach.
I don't know what to say when somebody shows you something like they think, wow. Yes.
Zach, do you remember Saturday afternoon was like Creature Feature in Philadelphia, something like in the 60s? Was that you or was that somebody? I don't remember which one you had in Philadelphia.
Okay, we'll get your question. Just, what was the question?
He wanted to know if you had a show in Philadelphia in the 1960s.
Yeah.
For Creature Feature.
Creature Feature Saturday.
There was no, I came to New York in 1958. And there was a lady down there named, what was her name? Oh, she did a kind of crazy show, but it wasn't anything like I used to do. It wasn't the same kind of thing, but it was late night craziness. But no, I didn't do anything down there, except maybe I visited the station for a reunion or something like that. Yeah. You live down there?
In Pennsylvania, yeah, over that way.
Where are you in Pennsylvania?
Lehigh Valley near Nazareth.
Where?
Nazareth.
Lehigh
Nazareth?
Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Nazareth.
Oh, yeah.
Lebanon and all those biblical towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Bethlehem, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hope you have a safe trip home on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I scared you to death. Any more questions here? Wow, what time is it?
5 after 3.
Wow, that's exciting. Yes?
Are you going to be on the radio again this Halloween Eve?
I was on the radio the last, I guess, this last Monday, yeah. On
NTI.
a guy named Mike Piazza, not the ball player, on Trenton Radio, and then down in Philadelphia at, was I in Philadelphia? No, I was down on Wall Street. I didn't go all the way to Philadelphia. For WBAI, and then out on in Hackettstown at the Centenary College.
NTI.
And that was broadcast. They may, I don't know if they'll repeat it or not, but it was fun to get there. You had to climb 3 stories, which is not my thing I like to do anymore. They have no elevator. Beautiful building though. It's been restored, and somebody died and left them a lot of money. It wasn't me. And it was a girls' school years ago, and now it's co-educational. And they had a radio station up there, which I visited maybe 5 years ago. And it was great because, I mean, there must have been over a dozen college students there just waiting for me to show up. And probably afraid I wouldn't show up, but I did. And it was really fun, really was. And I asked one guy, what did those poll letters, 92 point something, WUB pi or something like that, I don't know. I said, what does that mean? He says it's Latin. One guy volunteered to tell me that the letters were set as, were from the first letter of the Latin motto of the school. I thought, boy, that's pretty cool. Did anybody here take Latin in school anymore? You did? One person here took Latin? He did too. 3? Wow. I took it. I really didn't understand it. I didn't like it. I did it for 3 years in high school, and all I can say is a bon mouvement. It's all 3 words. He said he had the same experience, this guy with the camera here. Anyway, education's great, and it'd be even greater if it was more fun, which was my attitude. I was a great looking out the window kind of person in school, and waiting for the next recess or the next vacation day. But I struggled and got through it, you know. I took 4 years of French and can't speak any French. And I don't know what do they pushing in school now.
Drugs.
Oh, well, at recess maybe. Do they still call it recess?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Now it's called parole.
Okay. Oh, my. Well, I've lost my thought again. What's on your mind?
Coming to Transylvania?
Well, I suppose we can close with coming into Transylvania. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
You can sit down if you're tired. Oh, you can stand up. Yes.
Zach, did you ever run into any problems with the censors on your old show? Things they wouldn't let you do?
All I heard was, did you ever want?
You have censorship problems.
Well,
with
did I ever have?
stations.
No, but only because when I came to New York, all the stations had a, what would you call it? Kind of a censorship.
Standards and practices?
Standards and practices. Thank you very much. He graduated from NBC. So you were supposed to have a script of anything, or what the show was, your show was about. You had to hand it to them, and they'd look and see everything nasty in there, and then okay. But our scripts were so short, and if I used the words that were written down, I would always add that much more to the nonsense that was going on. So we never had any real trouble. No. It's not like it was the days of Howard Stern. You couldn't say anything. You couldn't say damn or heck or hell or anything like that. And you were so used to not saying those words, you didn't even try. So it was a whole different era. And now, yes.
Were you ever embarrassed when the laundry cart turned over and your wife really wasn't there?
Were you ever embarrassed when the laundry cart turned over and your wife was never there?
Wouldn't you be embarrassed?
We were so looking forward to seeing her, and it turned over, and we felt gypped.
Well, whenever it did happen, it's something, that might expose her, because there was nobody in that box. There's a bag of sand, a bucket of sand, and a stake. And I always make believe, like, hide her behind me and that kind of thing, that it was too horrible for anybody to see. But the truth is, we couldn't afford to pay anybody else to be in that box. So there was nobody there, my dear. But as I say, a bucket of sand, which we probably should have hung back on the hook. It was a fire bucket, with the sand. Boy, you can think of the days, that's what they used to have around places to put out fires, a bucket of sand. That's going back too far. Well, it's great to see all you people. My goodness. At least one thing, you're warm in here, and it's mighty cold outside. We're lucky, though, we had no rain, and the crowd is so large here, it's a little scary to think how long people have to wait to get indoors to see whoever they'd like to hang out with. Well, thank you very much for coming, and your questions, and your wolf call, and your stories about Conrad. That's really, really amazing. You got something in the future going to happen?
I sure hope so.
Thank you, everybody. I sure hope so.